Alright guys, on the topic of moment of a force, let's look at question number 1. The question says a uniform bar EF. Now look at the bar EF. So let's draw a free body diagram with the bar. Let's assume mine may not be very straight, right? Right, it says a uniform bar EF. So this is our E and this is our F, right? There's the bar, a uniform bar EF. And when we have a uniform bar, always know that for a uniform bar, it is always 100 cm for a uniform bar, right? So it means that this my line is not straight. Trying to make it very straight. Okay, this can work. It means that the bar from here to here, from the both edge, we have them as 100 cm, right? A uniform bar is always 100 cm long. That's the first information you need, right? EF is balanced on the knife edge, which is 70 cm from F. So the bar is balanced from the knife edge 70 cm from F. So from F we have a knife edge. Let's assume this is our 70 cm mark. So it means from here to the edge is 70 cm. This is where the knife edge is balanced from. So 70 is the knife edge. 70 cm from F down to here is 70 cm. This is where the knife edge is balanced from. And if here is 70 cm, it therefore means that from here to here should be what? Should be 30 cm, because 30 plus 7 gives us 70. So the whole of this part is 30 cm. Right? We have there 70 cm. It means that the other part is 70 cm from F by a mass 25 cm hanging at a point G. Right? Point G, 10 cm from point E. Right? So this is point E. We have 10 cm from point E. This is our point G. Right? There is a mass hanging, a mass of what? Of 25 kilogram. Right? This mass is hanging 10 cm from E. So from E, we have here as 10. And if we have here as 10, it therefore means from here to here will be what? Will be 20. Why is it 20? Why is it 20? Because 10 plus 20 gives us 30, the whole of this part, which is 30. Right? So 10 cm, it means that the whole other part is 20. So that's how you fill them up. We get one information used to fill up the other information. Right? So it says we should calculate the mass of the bar. What does it mean to calculate the mass of the bar? Right? The mass of the meter rule bar will always be at the 50 cm mark, the midpoint of the bar, where the bar is originally balanced. So calculating the mass of the bar, of this bar, means you are looking from it at the 50 cm mark. Right? So if we say, let from here be 50, that's the mark. Let's assume here, this is our mark, the mass we are looking for. Right? If here is 50, also means here is 50. So if here is 50 to this point, it means here is what? Here is 20. How is that so? Remember, we have from here down as 70. Right? The mark we had here was 70 cm, all of this. So if we break here out and take here as 50, it means it's remaining 20 to make it 70. So if the portion of it is 50, it means 20 will be remaining. Right? It therefore means that to calculate the mass of this bar, we are going to apply the clockwise moment and the anti-clockwise moment. Right? I've taught that on the previous video. Right? The formula to solving questions like this is that we're going to apply the clockwise moment. CWM is equal to the anti-clockwise, the anti, that's the ACWM. Correct. So what does clockwise mean? Right? You know, if we have a wall clock, it is always going in this direction. Right? So this is the clockwise moment in this direction. Clockwise in this direction. And what does that mean? The clockwise moment is coming like this in this direction. So what does this really mean? It means this mass that we're having here times this distance to this point. The mass times this distance. So it is mass times this 20 cm distance to this point. So we're looking at mass times 20. That's what clockwise moment is, right? Moment is force times distance. right? But since we are not looking for the force, we can just reduce it to the mass, right? So what about the anti-clockwise moment? Anti-clockwise moment is going to be this one, this mass, the weight of this mass times this distance. Everything is hanging here, right? So this distance is, this mass is 25 times the distance, which is 20. It's very simple. That's all you need. That's all the information we need. So from here, what do? We just divide both sides by the coefficient of m, which is 20. So 20 takes off 20 here, 20 takes off 20 here. Our mass becomes what? 25 kilograms. So the mass we have here is equal to the mass we have here. That's all. Very simple, right? It's just to look at the question from what we have this and then formulate the answers. And if this is not really, if you don't get this, I'm sure I'm going to give you another question in this, yet another question, a similar question that looks like this, and we're going to get the mass of the uniform bar. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at question number 2 on the board. The question says a uniform half-meter rule. So that's the first thing we need to take note of. Uniform half-meter rule, AB. So this is A and this part is B. Since it's a half-meter rule, we should know that this is what? It's 50 cm. The meter rule should be 50 cm. If it's a meter rule, that's 100 cm. I said that in the former video. But for a half-meter rule, it should be 50 cm, right? AB is balanced horizontally on a fulcrum placed 10 cm away from A, right? It's placed 10 cm away from A. So from here to here, that's from here to the fulcrum, is 10 centimeter, right? Remember, the whole of this is 50, right? So we have 10 here, right? Okay. As shown above, yes. If the mass of 15 kilogram is hung at the end, yes, calculate the mass of the meter rule. The first thing to calculate the mass of the meter rule, and we said for us to calculate the mass of the meter rule, you're looking at where the meter rule is balanced, right? At the place of balance, that should be at the half of 50, which is 25, right? So if from here to here is 50, because it is half meter rule, the mass will be at the midpoint, right? This is how we get the mass, is at the midpoint. So it means that from here down is what? Is 25 cm. Sorry, 25 cm. Yep. And then from here down is also 25 cm. Just clean this off. I'll take the question number 2 off to make our work easy. Yep. So it also means that if there's 25, it also means that from here also is 25 cm. That makes it a half meter rule of 50 cm, right? It makes everything 50 centimeter because it's a half meter rule. So this is the mass balanced at the midpoint of 50, which is 25, and this is 25. So from this half of 25, if here is 10, what should be here? How many do we need to add to 10 to make it 25? I believe here is going to be 15. 15, yes, because 15 plus 10 gives me 25, right? So if we're looking for this mass, we know what to do. I said there are 2 formulas, right? From what we just did, there are 2 formulas. So the formulas should be what? The first one is what? Clockwise moment is equal to anti-clockwise moment, right? And then the second formula should be what? Upward force is equal to downward force, right? The sum of the upward force is equal to the sum of the downward force. So this is the first one. Let's call this equation 1. And equation 2, we can say summation of upward forces are equal to the summation of what? Of downward forces. Alright, so these are the 2 things we need to know. So let's call this one our equation 2. Right, beautiful. So in knowing this, what we need for the first one, since we're looking for the mass, is just to, this is not 50, please, this is for a half meter rule. We've talked about this. That's what's 50 cm. We have to bring this out. So the clockwise moment should be what? This this times this, because it's coming like this, clockwise, it's coming like this, right? So it is mass times 15. So clockwise moment, which is equal to anti-clockwise moment. So for the clockwise moment, it is mass, that's m times 15 we have here. I've told you how we got 15 times 15 equal to the anti-clockwise should be what? 15 we have here times 10. 15 times 10. So here we have 15 times 10. Right, beautiful. So we divide both sides by 15 cm, coefficient of m. If 15 takes off 15, 15 takes off 15, it therefore means that our mass is what? Mass is 10 kilogram. The mass here is 10 kilogram, right? So I can just write 10 kilogram. The mass here is 10 kilogram. So that's how to get the mass. So question 2 says the magnitude of the force exerted on the rule by the fulcrum. We're looking for the force. What force of this fulcrum is exerted on the meter rule? Right, so what do they mean by the magnitude of the force exerted by the meter rule? Right, so if we want to represent them by their forces, it will look like this. The diagram will look like this. Right, we have this one here as a mass. This is a mass, not a force. So for us to change it to a force, let's call this force 1. It will be what? mg. Right, m1g. That's to make this a force, because it is the upward forces is equal to the sum of downward forces, right? And then we have another one coming down. So there are two forces here. This is force 1, and the second force is here, force 2, right? This is force 2, and let's call it m2g, right? So also we're looking for the force of the fulcrum. This one is going up. You can see that this force of the fulcrum is going up, right? So we can call this guy reaction, the arrow, right? So we have the downward force, two downward forces. These are our downward forces, force 1 and force 2, and this is our reaction going up, equal to the upward forces. But first, so how do we get this force? Because what we got was the mass. The force for this one becomes the mass times acceleration due to gravity, and we know that that is 10, right? G is always 10. G is 10 meters per second squared. So what's the force here? 15. We have 15 times 10. That gives us what? 150 Newton for force 1. How do we get force 2? Force 2 was 10. Yeah. The mass here was 10. So our force 2 is mass, which we just got as 10. 10 times G, which is also 10. Right. That gives us our force 2 becomes 100 Newton. So we now have force 1 and force 2. We're looking for the reaction, and then the question says the magnitude of the force exerted on the rule by the fulcrum. So we're looking for this force. This force, that's what we're looking at, which is this one. And so we're going to apply the second formula to it. And what's the second formula? It says the summation of the upward forces. What are the upward forces? This guy is one going up. So let's call it summation. Sorry. So the summation of upward force is equal to summation of downward force. Beautiful. So what are our upward forces? Just this guy is the only upward force we have, and the fulcrum, that's what we're looking for. We called it arrow. So these are upward force. Arrow is equal to the sum of downward forces. These are first downward force, F1 plus F2, right? So we can now say our arrow, which is the force we are looking for, is equal to what? 150 plus 100. It means that the upward force arrow we're looking for is equal to what? 250 Newton. Very simple. See how easy it is? First of all, we look for the mass of the rule. And I told you the mass of the rule is always at the midpoint, and it's a half meter, remaining from here to here is 50. So this part is 25, this part is 25. That's how we got this. So with that, we now know that here is 15, here is 10 by the length. And we said for us to get the mass, it is the clockwise moment equal to the anti-clockwise moment, and the clockwise moment is this mass times the distance, 15, right? It is the mass times the distance, force times distance, the mass here times the weight here times the distance. So the m here is m times 15. That's how I got m times 15 equal to this 15 times 10, the mass here times the distance here. So that's how I got 15 times 10, and then I divided both sides to get the mass. The number 2 question says we should find the magnitude of the force exerted on the roll by the fulcrum, right? So in doing that, we have to look for the forces, right? Because this, we're already given a mass, we're only given a mass. We have to look for the forces, and the force there is mg. Yes, mg. This is just r, right? Because there was no mass here given. So this is our downward force. You can see our downward force, weight coming down, mass times 10, that's 150, the mass times 10, that's 100. So these are our downward force, these are upward force. So using the formula 2, summation of the upward force equal to the summation of the downward force. So if we are summing the upward force, we just have one upward force, which is r. We have 2 downward forces here. That becomes force 1 and force 2. If you add them, you have 250 meters. I will yet again be dropping another question, right, on this one. We want to drop 5 questions on this question in regard to moment of forces, so that you can understand them in case you see them on your WAEC question or your JAMB relative questions. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you.